People throwing salt on my name, it's part of the game. Mad over women I done hit, barely knew they name. I'll be the first one to admit, I grew up and changed like 2 chains. I know that I'm different, I am not the
People will see me and you look like this and it's just like I don't look like what I've been through. And a lot of people will minimize what you've been through all because you look nice. It's like, well, I was raised right. My mom and daddy don't let me come out the house looking crazy.
Hold on. Like, she dropping a lot of shit. What's making a lot of shit, bro? For real, like.
Am I supposed to look like
that shit again? Cause, bro, that's facts. People be looking at me like, oh, you so look so innocent just because I look good. That don't mean
I feel good. Exactly. Like, and
bro,
people think
crazy.
And I always like very grateful for my beauty, but I never leaned on. I always leaned on my brains because that's what I was in control of. I'm like, okay, this is my mom and daddy came together and they did their big one. I ain't gonna hold you. You feel me? I feel like I had much to do with it, but as far as how I carry myself, what I speak, how I treat people,
it's the cherry on top. I had no control of it.
Yeah,
me looking good is the cherry on top.
You know, all of the other elements I'm responsible for because, like how we said in the beginning, you could be a pretty exterior, but your internal is jacked up, and how you treat people.
It makes you ugly.
Makes you ugly. And I think people have always I think what we all do discover in this life walk is how many people project their fears and their feelings about themselves onto you.
But
so
when
you really have to have a strong
realize,
stance in self. Oh my God.
like Super Mario. I jumped on the platform, I always keep it P, capital P like fat form. I brought a couple people with me, we came to talk shit. Like pennies on the strings, we gon' make a lot of sense. What? We talk a lot of shit, but we make a lot of sense. We talk a lot of shit, but we make a lot of sense. We talk a lot of shit, but we make a lot of sense. We get pennies on the strings, gotta make a lot of sense.
Yo.
What up?
We in here. Yo.
What's up?
Alright. So what I was saying about the edibles. I think you just got to be careful. You got to make sure you don't have nothing to do the next day. That's basically how I feel. Because they hit too hard. That's why I just can't let edibles. I don't really do much of anything anyway, but it's just like, because it's settling in your stomach. You feel what I'm saying?
It really just depends on the edible that you take
for
for
sure.
real. How much you take.
You gotta watch it.
Sure.
You gotta watch what the milligrammage is.
No, for real. It takes a really brave soul to take an edible in public. I've had a very, very, very terrible experience with taking half of one in at Tipsy's one night downtown. And even with half, it took a minute for it to kick in. And when it kicked in, I was like, oh my God, y'all, I'm so hot. I just literally felt the energy shoot up the back of my spine. And I went to the bathroom and I was putting water on my hands and I was trying to cool myself off. I was in there like trying so hard to stay in my body. I was taking in so much energy. I was like, oh my God, I was hearing stuff that I didn't need to hear.
Bruh,
trippy.
It's literally like cause literally you hear everything. Like if you just like you hear the buzzing in the room, you hear dogs barking in the back. It's just like what's going on?
Everything is heightened. So I do not. 10 times out of 10 do not.
I need the edible y'all was on because I ain't never felt like that.
No,
like,
y'all, I swear. Like have you ever just like been so high? You just like you really just sitting there like you really your higher self is talking to you.
No,
it's just like girl, this is.
Sure.
I was like, girl, this is crazy. Never again.
Never.
Like, do you know your limits then? It's just like, yeah,
for sure.
We ain't never doing that
I
again.
prefer shrooms over edibles any day.
Okay, so what shrooms, like, I heard bad stories about shrooms. Like, they had you tripped out. You feel what I'm saying?
Again, like, anytime I do any type of anything that's going to heighten my perception, that's just going to take me to another state of being. I did the edible because, you know, a little bit of peer pressure, but we were just outside, we were just enjoying ourselves. But that is not my typical element or my typical preference either. I have shroomed a few times, and when I do it, it's very intentional. It literally comes to me. It's like I never end up having to buy them and search for them. They literally cross my path, and that's how I know it's time for me to take a trip. And I usually trip alone in the house. I will put on meditative music, a meditation. I will have like a very intentional day. My space will be clean, and I will really I'll be prepared to enjoy the ride.
Right, that's what I tell people. Just be very intentional with it. You know, if you're doing it carelessly and you don't really know what you're getting into, then that's when it becomes dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're taking on a lot of different stuff and you don't know how that's going to come out and how it's going to affect you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that even just if you smoking weed, you just need to be intentional with that. Don't just be out, with this group or this group and that.
I kid you not.
Come on now.
Positive from it.
Yeah.
Literally, because how I feel about it, you know, I just chill. Like, I just be in the house. You know, I don't really need to be out and about, but it's just for relaxation. Let me connect to that higher self. It's good for meditation, good for prayer. Like, if you really want to really connect with yourself, because if you really want to connect to God, you're going to have to connect to yourself first. And that's something that's that gateway that can help you. You can definitely do it without it.
Using it as that. Like, I didn't think that shrooms would become so, like, trendy. Like, people are like shrooming all the time in public. Like, they're just it's like, you know, almost abused. Like, I didn't think that would be something that people would take as like a joy, like okay, like we shrooming and I'm outside with it. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, you are
said
different.
It's abuse?
Like, I think they're abusing it now, because I would just say the way shrooms were introduced to me was through, you know, a very spiritual context, a very healing context, because they're very healing. Like, they're incorporating shrooms in a lot of curing of diseases. Like, it's gonna be a new flood of information about just the power of it when used intentionally and medicinally, that can really knock out a lot of things that have been deemed uncurable for years. Like, it's like, as we continue to progress and come into more awareness, like, things like that have always been here, that have been hidden from us or given to us without proper instruction on how to use it, is now going to come to the forefront, and we're going to get the best use of it. But edibles are just a totally different name of the game. Like, edibles are for, I feel, you know, they come in chocolates, candy bars, sugaries and sweets and sours. Like, edibles are for the people who cannot smoke and need that release, and they get their high another way. They're definitely for a certain crowd. Not me. A certain crowd, though. They're not for me. Edibles are not for me.
Literally, we in the same boat. It's literally about intentional use. That's literally with anything. If you're using it negatively, you letting in those type of spirits. Thank you. That's even with alcohol. You letting in those type of spirits. If you're using it, you're abusing it. You know.
Yeah.
It's all about. It's all you gotta know what you're doing.
It's all about the mindset of what you put into your body too.
Yes. The energy you're in when you consume it.
Yeah, the energy.
Yeah.
If you got negative energy, it's gonna be negative when you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if your energy positive, that's what you're gonna get. So it's like,
sure.
I vibe with that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm all for like enhancing the vibes, which it's unfortunate that some people do go to these same vices to when they're in lower places,
right?
And it doesn't help them get out of that lower place, and that's how it becomes, you know, alcoholism and drug abuse and addiction, and they want stronger things. So say a prayer for the people who are using it to help them alleviate their pain, but it's unconsciously causing
more pain. It's winding you up you digging yourself a deeper hole is what you're doing. And it's gonna be hard and hard to get out of, because now you're fighting the addiction.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
For sure. Hey, we got off on the real deep level. You feel what I'm saying? To start off,
making a lot of sense.
Making a lot of sense.
Always, man.
You feel what I'm saying?
Hold that thought. Hey, man, this is Making a Lot of Sense podcast, man. Welcome back.
What's up?
I'm Antonio the Great. I wouldn't be in here if I wasn't feeling great. Yo, Tay, what up?
Yo.
Man,
what's going on, man?
Nah, man. Until you calm down.
Hey, man, God bless y'all, man. God bless y'all.
One at a time.
Glad to be here, man. Another day.
So now, how you doing over there?
I'm cool. It's usually an order, is why I said that. Usually Antonio go, hey, so now, you know it. Then he
right. I wanted to throw a little crinkle in there. You feel?
Hey, you got me. crinkle French fries. I'm sorry.
Sometimes you feel what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes I put you first. Sometimes I gotta put Tay. You know what I mean?
You know, it really
Ain't
don't
nothing wrong with
matter.
a little change.
It's all
Ain't
love.
nothing wrong with it.
You know, that's for a change, let the pen glide. But the only real change come from inside in.
Hey.
No, I'm saying, what's up, y'all? I hope y'all doing well out there. Thank y'all for tuning in again. Love always.
For sure, man. Still feeling good from this past weekend, man. We was lit.
Listen,
Okay.
that 11/11. Oh, that date. Oh man, Art Out
day.
Loud. Man,
Shout out to Art Out Loud.
They came
man.
in.
Lady
Everybody
V,
came
Alan
and
Poe.
showed out.
For real.
For
That's
real.
a dope experience.
Yeah, that energy was crazy in there, bro. Like that energy ain't never been like that in that building. We been in there. We
That's
been
how
in
you
there for
know,
what?
y'all.
Like,
Y'all tapped in that portal that
half
day. It
of
was
the
for
year.
I'm
real.
telling you, even the girl that performed her song, she was talking about 11/11. Her song, she was right on point with that.
Oh yeah.
Goodness,
I love the alignment.
man,
That's
for
crazy.
sure.
awesome.
But hey, man, if you wondering who this guest is right here,
This
man.
beautiful, lovely voice right here
This
beside.
lovely guest that we got right here, man. I gotta do my big one. I don't even want to mess the intro up, so I'm gonna be the bigger person,
Take
and
your
I'm gonna
time,
pass.
my boy.
I'm gonna pass it along to Sanaa because I feel like I can't do it justice. You feel what I'm saying? I wouldn't do this
Take your time,
justice. You feel
Sanaa.
what I'm saying? All I can say is we got a very gorgeous guest here today. You feel what I'm saying? So Sanaa, you wanna introduce this guest for us?
Listen, when we say gorgeous, we don't even just mean the outer beauty, because this is a queen right here, the empress. You heard? Okay.
Hey.
But literally, her soul is beautiful. That spirit, when you get around her, listen, she got it smelling good up in here with the
Hey,
products.
talk about that though, cause
You
you can be fine on the outside, but your soul can make you ugly though.
If
Like,
you ain't
you
fine
ugly
on the
person
inside,
side,
you
for
ain't really doing it.
Come on.
Listen,
Talk about it.
Listen, but yeah, we have the beautiful, the entrepreneur, the just talented, just Black Barbie. I don't know. Listen. We got Raven Veasy in his house. How y'all doing?
Get some snaps going for him.
Good.
Y'all are the coolest. Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for the intro. I feel so.
Show, man.
You walk around. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
We
It
appreciate
feels
you
great to be here.
coming on our platform,
Hey, thank you
talking
for
that
being
shit
here.
with us, man. And most importantly, making a lot of
Absolutely.
sense, man.
So,
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me.
So what you got right here for us, man? What is introduce us to some of your products?
Gotta smell good up in here.
Okay. So like Sanaa and Antonio just greatly, did introduce me. I am Raven, and I brought my business baby to making a lot of sense, because I do feel like making sense of my brand and product line is something that is for certain, because it's very intentional. So Xane Organics is my lifestyle wellness brand, and everything that I curate is from the heart, from the soul, for everyone else to complement their energy and help heal their mind-body connection. So I have body butters, oils, yoni steams, salt baths, spiritual baths, beard oils, smoke blends, anything that I can think about that I use for my own healing journey and to connect me more deeper to myself in a practical way. I tend to research and make. I'm very hands-on. So Xane Organics is my business baby, and I birthed it 2020 when we was inside. It wasn't no outside, and we really had to go within.
Right.
So I was doing that going within work and purging a lot of deep things from my childhood and really healing my inner child. And so with that came me stepping into a creative space. When you let things go, you create space to bring things in. So I let go of pain, and I brought in a lot of pleasure by way of learning and introducing myself to new ways to connect to me more intentionally. So my body butters, y'all can see them up front, but I think I have Opulence, Invigorate, and Pure Bliss.
You got opulence right
Yes,
here.
here's Opulence. And
Smell that.
just a little quick little tidbit about it, like all of my
good.
butters are named after states of being. So I wanted my clients and consumers to take this butter and massage, and as they massage, affirm and get themselves into a meditative state, or just the energy of the name of the scent that they're using. So I do use scent psychology in regards to like smelling rich. So I wanted these scents to be unisex, but I used a little Tom Ford, a little vanilla. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to feel like money, I need to smell like money. And Opulence is it means great wealth and luxuriousness. And invigorate means to, call in strength and energy. So it's very uplifting. So imagine you going about your day and it's a money making day, or it's a day where you need more strength and a picker up, or you need some nourishment, or maybe you just feeling good and you want to just continue to lean into that state of pure bliss that you are already in. I created the butters, and like I said, have affirmations and meditations that really support any and everything. My smoke blends, they kind of like enhance the vibe too. If you like to roll it up, smoke it solo, or add it to your tree, you know what I mean? You can enhance the mood with energy, or you can, I got clean and clear, and that can help you. I think that's about relaxing the mind. So everything in my business, it makes a whole lot of sense when you're bringing intentionality and intent to your self-care. So that's what xane Organics is. It just helps you take care of your energy in a very practical way with some organic tools that can shine you up on the inside and outside.
Literally, because y'all, I've tried a bunch of things. I've tried, of course, just about all the butters, for real, because once I just rubbed it on my hands, y'all, that going like butter. That's why I call shea butter, baby. It's smooth like that. All right. I tried the potion oil.
Yes.
Listen,
that's one of my favorites.
One of my favorites. Okay, if you put on
it gets you going
and the oil,
yeah,
you shine and you smelling good. You know what I'm saying? What's the name might hug you? Old boy might hug you like, dang, shawty, hold on, shawty smell different. She don't smell like no Bath and Body Works. What that is? That's that xane Organics, baby.
Period.
All right. I tried that. I've tried the salt baths. I love the salt baths. I tried the yoni steams.
I love a good bath.
All my ladies out there, the yoni steam. Everybody needs that experience. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let me ask you something. Okay, that butter right there. When is the last time, or can you give us an example when you put that on and something positive happened? Like the last time you put that on, something positive.
Oh my gosh, y'all! I wear Pure Bliss. Pure Bliss is what I've been wearing every day.
Right.
Shoot, that's kind of hard to name a specifics. Okay. I would just say me lately, with me wearing Pure Bliss every day, and I usually do it by, like, as I'm rubbing it on, I am saying my affirmations, I am regulating my nervous system. A lot of people don't know that massaging is one of the best ways to, like, really get in your body and be connected with the present moment in your body. A lot of people really don't be in their body. They're just not aware of how much their energy is scattered elsewhere. So with Pure Bliss, I can say for like the past 3 weeks, my ability to be like present and receptive, as well as calm in a state of like adverse situations or challenges, I lean into creating that regulation when I'm rubbing the butter on. So the rest of my day, you know, whether I have to think back to that moment or just rub my hand together or just take a deep breath, like remember what I affirmed, reaffirm, you feel what I'm saying? Like that's usually how it works for me. And that makes me attractive to all types of blessings. That makes me attractive to all types of good news. So it just really comes with the territory. Now, if you are doing like some money making magic with the opulence, you know what I'm saying? Like, do your big one. You should be happily anticipating a tip or someone randomly gifting you something, or you applying to a job and getting good news. Like, it's practical self-care, but don't forget the work that you have to put in with the moment to moment, keeping your mind on the up and up, keeping your heart open and receptive to good, better, or best. You know, a lot happens throughout the day that throws us off our rocker, can kind of come in and introduce a little contrast, but you know, contrast just gets you closer to clarity of what it is that you do want. So sometimes you need what you don't to appear, to make sure you're saying yes to what you would like to appear. So it's just really all about setting that stage night and day for what it is that you desire to come to you. But you gotta feed it, and you have to align with it, and it don't have to be like complex. Like, a lot of this can be done with the energy of ease and simplicity. So it's I just know I keep my mind clear and my heart and my hands open for any good thing, because like the God I serve, only good can come into my life. So nothing but good.
So educate the listeners out there a little bit. it's more than just taking these products and you know what I mean. Talk about the other side if you don't mind. Like what else you have to do other than just taking the products? Because a lot of people just be like, oh, I took the products, but it didn't work. You didn't do. You know what I mean?
It's
you
like
didn't
you
do
missing.
it.
You missing stuff.
Right.
So to be honest, I feel like my products are on the other side of the spectrum. Not saying that my brand only speaks to people who are pain ridden or who are in a low space, but it is for people that are aware of their mind and their state of mind and their connection to their body. Understanding that they're one and the same. Healing the mind, you also have to heal the body because trauma is trapped in the body. So by the time you get to a rub down and a affirm, 9 times out of 10 you have had a cry. Maybe you've had a journal session. Maybe you've had a shout session. Maybe you've just had a meditation. That type of work is something that usually is a prerequisite for this. Right. Not saying that it had to happen in that day on that moment, but it's part of your whole self-care. Like when you're taking care of the self, that's like a layered process. I'm taking care of myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So working out, like I said, having a practice of release, whether that is through working out, journaling, talking to someone as far as therapy goes. Like we're really when we think about healing the mind and the body connection, then we really have to look at what's plaguing the mind and stopping us from being our best self and locking into that God body and activating that. Right. And that does come with a lot of purging, a lot of like awareness of where you are and what you believe. And oftentimes we don't know what we believe until we're faced with a situation, and now how you're responding to it shows what you're standing on. And sometimes what you standing on don't serve who you're trying to become. So that's the letting go. That's okay. Well, now I need to change my mind about how I view money. Now I need to change my mind about how I view relationships. Now I need to look at how I feel about my connection to myself, my parents, and things like that. Have the things my parents instilled in me, is that serve me or is that serve them? Can I take what they've given me and be an improvement on design? Am I willing to say, okay, thank you for what you taught me, but this is what I'm learning and this is what works for me, and not cast judgment on them for not understanding, but be okay with my own understanding. So it's a very solo path when we start getting into like knowledge of self, and we grow and we heal different things at different rates. So oftentimes I'm like, dang, I thought I healed that, and it's like, oh no, it's coming around in another way because it, it got a chokehold on you in this moment, in this area, from this context, not in the way in which you are used to seeing it. So sometimes it's one of those, you got to be so transparent and so vulnerable with yourself, and you have to be able to separate yourself from your ego self.
It's gonna be your biggest. You know what I'm saying? Is gonna be your biggest battle. It's the me versus me. It's you versus yourself. That's what it is. So
that's like the backside of it. Like you're gonna do we call it shadow work.
Right.
You're gonna do your self-love work. Like you gotta shadow box. Shadow boxing is okay. Now I gotta bring awareness to those parts of me that I have deemed ugly and unlovable and terrible and whatever. Because like that aspect of you is gonna be your biggest protector. It ain't gonna let nobody play with you. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily about ridding it, but more so evolving it, as well as being the one that's in control of it. Because sometimes the lower self is running the show and you are very unaware of it.
You don't even know.
You feel what I'm saying? So
because once you get on the path, you get on the journey, you're gonna come to a realization of a lot of things. And it's gonna be a lot at once. It's gonna be like something that's pushing you, and it's just like whoa, mind blowing. Because when I was going through my spiritual journey, I had a lot of mind blowing moments. I had a lot of talks to myself. I'll catch myself just talking to myself just for hours on end, like you was gonna do this and that, but what I was talking to myself about was more important. Okay, world stop when it come to me. Okay, because when you on the journey, you gonna want to stop. You gonna feel like this get to be a little too much, and you look back and you're like, well, I can't go back to where I once was. That's not serving me. So that's the key to keep you moving on your path. That's the key. That's literally it.
Can't go back for sure.
Can't go back for nothing. Because that don't serve you, and you know that. It's that being aware
and stepping into the unknown.
I'm telling you.
That's it.
Trust yourself.
Taking the risk on yourself.
Trust God.
Yes.
Woo.
It's a very vulnerable. It's vulnerable. So these I needed to smell like a baby, and I needed to, you feel what I'm saying? I needed that scent. I needed that hug from myself. I needed to tell myself I love you. I needed to be present with me in a lot of aspects of my journey where I was once abandoned or neglected, you know. And when we step into the place of reparenting ourselves, we show up for ourselves in the way that we always wanted to be shown up for. And you never stop. Once you start healing that inner child, connecting to that inner child, you're always you're the mama, you're the daddy. You feel what I'm saying? And it's you and God on this faith walk on a day-to-day, moment by moment. But a lot of people just aren't even aware of how much the inner child plays a large role in who they are. We have a lot of people that are at a big age but experienced a lot of trauma at a young age, so their emotional intelligence is stuck at 7, at 6, at 4, wherever they got the traumatic experience. Their ability to emotionally process it is stunted by way of their level of emotional intelligence at that place. So like I said, trauma be stuck in the body, so it goes beyond just a rub down. Like, you do need to get in the gym, you do need to do some yoga. Like, yoga is very spiritual. I'm a yoga instructor. Like, my journey took me to great depths of healing, and I was like, if this is changing and transforming me, and unfortunately I'm the only black girl up in this piece, I'm the only young black girl up in this piece, it's not a lot of people in here looking like me. Okay, I want to teach this, I want to serve this, I want to create experiences for people to look back at me that I look like and feel comfortable enough to heal through this, because we got intergenerational trauma, y'all. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Whether it was psychological or not, it came from womb to womb to womb to womb. So when you like the generational curse breaker, it's no joke. Like, it's on you to say, yeah, that happened, but it ends right here.
You feel me? Once you come aware of that you are the one that's gonna have to defeat this. Yeah. And if you don't, you're aware. If you know you don't defeat this generational curse, if you don't beat it, if you don't break it,
you're gonna birth the child. It's gonna happen to them,
and you gonna know. And you know,
it's gonna be the cycle.
So, let me ask you something. Okay, let's say you want to get off into yoga. How do you like recommend somebody get into it? Like, what's the first step? Like, because I want to get into some yoga, but
touch your toes.
What?
Just start stretching.
What a lot of people.
Just stretch. I mean, I do that on the base, but yoga and stretching different.
Yeah, for sure.
It's different poses, but that's the start.
I would say, for one, I mean, anything, if you're the researcher type, I'm the researcher type. You know, I'm YouTube University. I love a good book. I love to flip through a book. Just see what point of interest that you best receive information. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just me. Like, so with me, I wanted to go to a class. So I went to the class at the Y, or I just that's where I started. It was classes offered at the YMCA, and I looked for different yoga studios in my community at the time. I was living in Montgomery, and I started going to the classes. And from there, I would pull up YouTube, do a few on YouTube, and then I began to start researching what it's like to teach it. But right now, if you're starting brand new and you just want to get the experience in Gaston, I know classes are offered at Absolute, and I know classes are offered at Wilmore. The lady that teaches at Absolute, she used to teach at the YMCA. She's a great teacher.
Dress for any occasion.
You know what I'm saying? We just be putting it on, you know what I'm saying?
Ayy. Look. Ayy, I'm dressed for any occasion. Fresh on the scene, looking like God just made me. It is the result when you learn to take some patience. Reaping the fruits from my labor. Grapes and raisins.
I'm dressed for any occasion. In here with the funkiest weed. Everyday blazing. I'm dressed for any occasion. When he put that shit on, make me wanna have baby.
When I'm DAO, you DOA. Plain Jane type of day, eating Frito-Lay. Family rooting from me from the crowd, keep her straight. Bitches rooting from me from the sideline, make a play. Tap into my inner self when I hit that J. On the big stage with my tongue out like MJ. Shot for the stars repeatedly like 8K. It's 24 in the clip and I brought 8K. It's greater than 8. I'm dressed for any occasion. Fresh on the scene looking like God just made me. It is the results when you learn to take some patience. Reaping the fruits from my labor. Grapes and raisins.
I'm dressed for any occasion. In here with the funkiest weed. Everyday blazing. What? I'm dressed for any occasion. When he put that shit on, make me wanna have baby.
If I'm casually speaking, dressed for any occasion, we in here casually meeting. Give you a little what's up with you, casually greeting. Jimmy got me feeling alright, casually cheesing. I can put the bank on niggas and skate on niggas, but when I put the Nautica on, I'm gangsta Capone. Shane got the double C's, bitch, I don't roll no double D's. In here with the raw paper cones, that's how I blow my trees. Easy cause on my body, she gon' want me. Suit gets physical with her, like an opponent. I ain't really mad at it, if I like it, I'm on it. I'ma fall through in the night and leave in the morning. But right before the sun crack, I had to get my ass back the way I live to the crib so I can take a shower. And they be calculated, dawg, down to the hour. They keep digging up black roots, the world is really ours. Hey, I'm dressed for any occasion, fresh on the scene, looking like God just made me. These is the results when you learn to take some patience, reaping the fruits from my labor, grapes and raisins.
I'm dressed for any occasion, in here with the funkiest weed, everyday blazing. What? I'm dressed for any occasion, when he put that shit on, make me wanna have babies. I'm dressed for any occasion, fresh on the scene, looking like God just made me. These is the results when you learn to take some patience, reaping the fruits from my labor, grapes and raisins. Ay, I'm dressed for any occasion. Hold up, can't be having no babies. But the way he put that shit on got me thinking about maybe.
I'm dressed for any occasion, fresh on the scene, looking like God just made me. These is the results when you learn to take some patience, reaping the fruits from my labor, grapes and raisins. What? I'm dressed for any occasion, fresh on the scene, looking like God just made me. These is the results when you learn to take some patience, reaping the fruits from my labor, grapes and raisins. Follow me on IG at Antonio_the Great.
So if y'all physically just want to go and experience it, now each yoga class is different. And I will say yoga taught from a black person is different from yoga taught from other people, just from my experience. And I'm not trying to be like, colorist or whatever, but I feel like
this is your experience.
It's just my experience. And so, and recognizing that some people hear your experiences here, you may just get taught, postures and for the body. It won't necessarily have a strong spiritual element to it. And that's what I love about the way I teach and the teachers that I was next to in my teaching. So I love the spiritual concept of it and like the intentionality of it, because one yoga class can literally change your life. It can literally release trauma from your body that has been pent up for years. It just really depends on your intention. So if you want to go for flexibility, hey, go to a power yoga class. If you want to go for more of a restful experience, there's restorative yoga. If you want to go for more of a strength conditioning, that's what yin yoga is for. And I love teaching yin, I love teaching restorative. And then your classic classes are mostly, I would say, yang. So yin is female, it's the feminine principle, it's more passive. Yang is masculine, it's the masculine principle, and it's more active. So in a typical yoga class, you will sweat, but I tell people all the time, like, your practice, your pace, your promise. That's something that I say, like, what you doing on the mat, honor your body, honor your practice. Don't look around the room. You know what I'm saying? If you got a hurt ankle and a hurt wrist, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully your teacher will teach to your body.
I fuck around and
look
around like, ooh.
What y'all doing?
Yoga is
not doing that. Like,
but yoga is also washing dishes. Yoga means to yoke. To
Mm.
become one with spirit in. So yoga is when we're driving in silence. Yoga is when we're washing dishes and we're present and we're breathing deeply and we're just with the dishes.
Equally yoked.
Yoking with the present moment and experience with spirit. So that's what yoga means. So a lot of us do yoga a lot. Just don't know that's what it is.
Y'all just don't know. Y'all think it's just
Learn
regular.
something new every day, for real.
We do.
I thought it was just one yoga. See, that's what I was talking about, like that Kyrie yoga. You feel me? So like we can be flexible and shit. You feel me? I thought it was just one yoga. She said
There's
it's like
so
four
many
of 'em.
styles, so many different styles. Yeah.
Men should be
Power
yang.
yoga,
Get
yes.
it
Power
to-
yoga is where you're gonna be in there on your head, doing back bends, You're gonna sweat. And there's even hot yoga.
You do all that?
I do not teach power yoga, but hot yoga is that deal.
I want to do everything.
Yes, you literally go to a hot yoga studio, and I'm talking hot. It's like doing yoga in a sauna.
I want to do it.
And your body will be dripping wet instantly.
I don't mind sweating. Like some women don't like to sweat. Bro, it's a release all that that's in there.
Sweating.
You can go take a shower later.
Yeah,
right?
I love to sweat. I feel like the energy really getting processed out when I sweat. So hot yoga, y'all, that's an experience.
I never heard about hot yoga.
Me neither, bro.
That's crazy, bro.
That is crazy,
experience.
That's crazy.
Hey.
No.
Making a lot of sense, man.
Making a lot of sense.
Talking a
Crazy
lot
how
of
many yogas it is though.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned you have a podcast.
I do.
What's the name of your Tell them the name of your podcast if you don't mind.
The name of my podcast is Raven Radio.
Okay. And,
you know the vibes of Raven Radio.
For sure. How did you get started with it? When did you start it, and what made you want to start it?
A lot happened during the pandemic.
Right.
I probably started podcasting a few months before the pandemic, actually, maybe October of 2019. At the time, I was really working with healing my throat chakra and speaking my truth, and I didn't necessarily want to be seen. So how podcasting transformed, I think it happened shortly after. I think podcasting really transformed 2020 because we were just sitting back at home and we were wanting to watch. And so I think that's when people really brought the cameras and the mics out and made podcasting more of a visual experience. And that was the exact reason why I got into podcasting, because it wasn't a visual experience and I wanted people to just hear me. And I did not want to be seen because I was exposing a lot of truth. So before my podcast was named Raven Radio, it was actually Higher Learning with Raven. And I've always just come with just straight wisdom. I would just talk about what I currently had went through and then pull little nuggets and bestow that upon people and let people know, like, you're not alone. It's okay not to be okay. And this is what I'm experiencing. Some episodes I did have like a yogic principle to bring in that I wanted I felt like people would enjoy learning more about and seeing how that experience that I had went through would help them through their experiences. So Raven Radio, I changed it to that because I wanted to just be more expansive in my topics. I was like, I don't necessarily also all the time want to just teach. Sometimes I just want to be, and I want to have guests, and I want us to just vibe out, like similar to this. So Raven Radio is like, that's why I changed the name. But the other day I was like, do I want to now be named like Real Talk with Raven? I'm the rebranding queen. If I'm like, okay, for me, and I don't know if this is like for everybody, but it has to be fun for me to keep coming back to it. That's what I'm noticing. That's
because you know me. I'm everywhere.
I love to have fun.
I am a scatter. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just like when I'm interested. When I'm not, I'm not. It's just like.
I love rebranding sometimes to the point that I think, okay, Raven, I'm just like, okay, you ain't even sustained it. Like, you good at starting, okay, but how about sustaining? But I was thinking about changing the name to Real Talk with Raven. You know, that's crazy. I just be experimenting.
Was this last Thanksgiving or something, last Christmas or something? We were playing a game and we was like, who was most likely to rebrand themselves? And I said, yeah.
I do it often because I grow so much on purpose, with purpose. So it's just like
what Lauryn Hill said, if what's not growing is dying. What she said?
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
Let me. Your story is interesting because it's similar to like mine's, so to speak. So let me just say this story real quick.
Yeah.
I kind of started like podcasting the same way. I was just like around that time too, like 2020, 2021. I was just like, man, I'm gonna start a podcast. But the crazy thing is though, just last week I was with my cousin, and he was telling me like, he was like, you said you was gonna start a podcast, bro. I was like, did I tell you that? Cause I ain't remember telling them that. It was like back in 2020. He was like, bro, we was sitting right in here. He was like, hey, I'm gonna start a podcast, bro. I don't know when, but I'm gonna start one. You feel me? This was way back in 2020, like 2021. And he had brought it up. I was like, damn, that's crazy, bro. I told you that. You feel what I'm saying? So like years, I ain't started the podcast right away. It was like, it took a minute. You feel what I'm saying? I had forgot about it. And then I woke up one day, God was just like, hey, start that podcast. You feel what I'm saying? And it was like that. So our stories are similar and stuff like that. And I just thought it was weird how I told somebody like I was gonna start it, and then I really did it. You feel what I'm saying? Spoke into existence.
It's just crazy how we all like connected though, because when you wanted to start it, you came to me. It's like you had to start working at Walmart to come to me, and then I had to be there so we could connect.
Bruh, speaking on that, I ain't know nothing. That's crazy. I was telling him I ain't know nothing about Sanaa though. That's the crazy thing. I ain't know she sing. I ain't know she act. I ain't know nothing.
She is that girl.
God just told me he was like, hey, go ask her. You feel what I'm saying? We just clicked from work. Like we would just be talking shit about to each other at work. You feel what I'm saying? That's how we clicked. That was our relationship. So I was just like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? And she said, yeah. She shot me.
He was so sweet. He just be like, hey, I wanted to talk to you.
She shot. I was scared. I was like, bro, I ain't know what she was gonna say, bro. I ain't have nothing figured out. I ain't know what I was doing. I'm being honest with you. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't have everything figured out. I told her that straight up too. I was like, hey, she said she brought Asia along. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't even think about Asia.
I was like, hey, we get some. Hey, because she got good views, we can really do it. Then we actually started it.
Right.
And, we get all the way here. But, like, how we connected again, actually, because, we grew up with each other, but then it's just like it was that breakaway period, you know what I mean? And then it's just like you coming back around and us connecting because we really needed each other. Okay?
We really did.
Like, the way we have gotten closer and closer.
How many years apart are we? Man, is it 8 or 9?
It's like 8, 9. It's like 8.
I would just tell y'all this, like, I held Sanaa as a baby. Like, she was, if that's our gap, like, imagine at times when I was, like, a teen and she was literally, like,
it's like how you know certain things are meant to be.
And I kid you not, I think she was leaving anywhere from 2. Did I meet you at 2? Maybe 1 to 2? I don't know. But because I had to be 9 when I met you and you were a newborn baby. I'm like, y'all, we can't. I'm sorry. But
right, we can't like that.
For me to be at this age and her at this age and we have this type of connection, it's like I would have never known that me and Sanaa would be like this. Like it's such a blessing. It's like one of them gems. It's one of them gems.
Day,
that speak on your maturity though. Like you feel what I'm saying? Somebody a 9-year gap, 8-9-year gap. Bro, that's crazy.
The way, like I just remember the day we were just like in your room and at your dad's house, and we were just like, bro. That day I was just like, I just started talking. Like me, I don't just talk. It's just like I just felt comfortable around you. I just knew like, oh, this is my girl. I'm already knowing. It's just a click. So I just started talking. He was just like, I knew this conversation would happen. I was like, me too. Yeah. And then after that, it was just like
we been locked in.
We locked in. And
like ain't no switching up.
You see what I mean?
Ain't no switching up.
Crazy.
This my dog for sure. 100 grams.
Sure. That's a blessing.
But yeah, life is beautiful.
Family.
Life is but a dream. But yeah.
So when it comes to you and podcasting, now that you've been in it for a while, like how have you grown? Like how has podcasting helped you step into like a new place of like transparency? Like, because we get guests or we talk amongst each other and we really explore different beliefs and have different opinions, and some we agree and sometimes we don't agree. So how does that just help your like communication style? Like
you talking about me?
Personally?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Talking about help me personally?
Yeah.
Man, this podcast like I can't even describe it, to be honest with you. It's just like, man, this podcast done so much for me personally. Like, it's just like, man, because I said this on Tate podcast, Tony Talks. You feel me?
I got a podcast as well.
Tony Talks, I got to get on.
Right.
Yeah, I got a podcast as well.
This is crazy.
He asked me like a similar question, but it's like when I started the podcast, like literally I had really like just came off a breakup, so I really was like, and it wasn't just a simple break. It was kind of messy, you feel what I'm saying? So it was kind of like I was going through a lot personally, you feel what I'm saying? It's just like God was just like, this gonna be your healing. Like all through this podcast, it's been my healing process, you feel what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
So it's been dope for me, for real.
Yes, it has that effect. How about you?
It's really the same, like besides the breakup and stuff like that, but it's like it taught me different things, and like I like to let other people get their life stories out and like express themselves. I like the expression.
That just platform.
Allowing people to be able to have their platform and just because the people I interview it's people I act with, actresses and stuff like that. So yeah, she gotta get on there as well. But it's just for the business. It's like, but it's like just telling their story, just like where they came up and the ins and the outs and stuff like that. So it's just like just being able to work with them and just talk with them and hear their stories, it's amazing to me. Just like I told them earlier, just all us coming together. Like we had different paths and different routes and stuff like that. We all come together. I feel like God set this in stone and perfectly. And he connected us perfectly.
Because how we connected through acting. We're in the movie together. Another Loving Family is coming up. Oh my gosh!
Can't wait.
It's Saturday.
Right, Saturday. Everybody. That's how we connected with acting, and then connecting with him, and then they connected, and everybody just coming together.
Then we ended up working together. So it's just, it was divine timing.
Right.
I do want to ask you something though, like, cause like for me, it's 3 reasons why I started my podcast. Like for one was to, Tay just mentioned it, was to give like first and foremost myself a platform to like talk, like, you know, give people a different perspective of how I am, you feel what I'm saying, like other than just music. And as well as give Sanaa a platform, like just bring people along with me, you feel what I'm saying. That was one reason. 2 reason was to have guests along like yourself, you feel what I'm saying, give people them flowers and stuff like that. And you feel what I'm saying, and just overall just spread black love, you feel what I'm saying. So what was the reason why you started your podcast, like one of the main reasons why?
One of the main reasons why I started podcasting was to definitely heal my relationship with my voice. Affirming that my voice mattered. So I needed a place for my voice to come home to. And like I said, at that time, I was not on the front scenes. It just straight off the iPhone, Anchor, boom.
So you was embracing that background.
Literally embracing the background. I'm talking about the very, like, the first steps of like, okay, let's talk about how we've got here. Like, I know my story can help someone. I know my pain hasn't been without purpose. And I know that I've always noticed, like, just like how Sanaa said, like, people just are so open to coming to talk to me, like, and I love that about myself. And so with that, I just looked at the things that come natural, and I was like, you know, if people naturally feel safe around me, then I feel like it's okay for me to create a platform for me to speak and create the level of safeness within myself about what I have to say. And so that was like my main reason, so healing like that relationship with myself. Like,
it's not just people just come to me. It's like, well, okay, if people can come to me, there's something else there that I need to tap into. But yeah, healing that throat chakra, healing that voice is definitely something that helped me too. Not to cut you off, but like, I never saw myself like doing a podcast, so really just being open, it just helped with a lot of things, because I started, you know, performing, and I got in the studio, and it's just a lot. It's just like, oh, this was like really, this was
unlocking your voice. Does something for your entire being. It improves your confidence.
That's your sound box.
Yeah, it improves your confidence.
Say that again, man. You said something, because like, bro, somebody like unlocking your voice, that is true. Like, you feel me? That's facts.
You come out here and speak your truth, like, because people, it can be shut off so quick. Like, you just feel so small.
And I think that's what I had experienced for a long time. Like, I'm telling y'all, I had to affirm, like, my voice matters. Like, what I have seen, what I've experienced, what I have healed from, it matters. It's not irrelevant, and it can really help someone. So I really wanted my podcast to help me and help others at the same time. It definitely, I think, you know, unconsciously helped me in my confidence. Like, unlocking your voice unlocks your confidence, your ability to positively affirm and speak. You know, I have this new mantra is speak what you seek until you see what you said.
Say that shit again.
Speak what you seek until you see what you said. And another one I like to say is my words are my wand, like, which is similar to saying, like, I speak into existence. So I want my words to be beautiful. I write poetry. I do so much in my own little corner, in my own little chair, okay? And so I was like, okay, the more that I healed, the more I actually wanted to present myself to the world. And I started, like I said, hey, let me just start with my voice, not necessarily wanting, and I know people will see me and, oh, you look like this, and it's just like, I don't look like what I've been through. And a lot of people will minimize what you've been through all because you look nice. It was like, well, I was raised right. My mom and daddy don't let me come out the house. Hold on. Like,
she dropping a lot of shit, bro. For real, like,
what
Am I supposed to
Let's
look
say
like
that shit again, cause bro, that's facts. People be looking at me like, oh, you so look so innocent just cause I look good. That don't mean
I feel good. Exactly. Like, and
bro,
people think
crazy.
And I always like very grateful for my beauty, but I never leaned on. I always leaned on my brains because that's what I was in control of. Okay, this is my mom and daddy came together and they did their big one. I ain't gonna hold you. You feel me? Like, I feel like I had much to do with it, but as far as how I carry myself, what I speak, how I treat people,
it's the cherry on top. I had no control of it.
Yeah,
me looking good is the cherry on top.
You know, all of the other elements I'm responsible for, because like how we said in the beginning, you could be a pretty exterior, but your internal is jacked up, and how you treat people.
It makes you ugly.
Makes you ugly. And I think people have always well, I think what we all do discover in this life walk is how many people project their fears and their feelings about themselves onto you.
But
so
when
you really have to have a strong
realize,
stance in self. Oh my God.
When you really realize,
that's fact. That's
like
facts.
okay, y'all talk about that for a second.
Yeah, when you really realize
Like people
how
projecting,
energy onto you.
especially like
what you mean by that? What y'all mean by that?
Especially like your family, just like. Especially like the older generation, because you really look up to like your parents or your grandparents or aunties. It's just like when you're going down a path that they don't know nothing about.
And
they
rapping your acting.
Boy, that's
stuff
facts
like
a motherfucker.
They wouldn't see your purpose and your vision of that.
Bro, what?
Right.
Like only you can see.
Y'all not
projecting like a parent projecting their fears is like
I think you should go to the military.
Get you a job. Get you a job with benefits. What you out here doing all this for? Go to college. You know what I mean? They're projecting their story of what success means to them onto you.
Yeah, like
so
your path ain't my path.
It's not.
That's not my story though. Wait a minute.
Right. Just because that worked for you, I said this on another episode. Just because that worked for you, I might take that same route and run to a dead end. Like you see what I'm saying? Like for sure. That ain't my path.
Different folks. And
man,
I'm really fond of minding my damn business.
Be a great episode, boy.
You know what I'm saying? I love minding my business.
Oh yeah.
Other people will try to mind it for you, but like when your business is your business, when I tell you dealing with projections is probably something on a day-to-day basis that forces me to get the practice of standing in my conviction, like standing in my conviction with truth. Like, okay, it's okay. I can tell when people, imagine you're having a conversation and someone says XYZ, and you feel them because you're with them and you have a level of understanding, but you don't resonate with it.
Right.
That happens. Like, so that's similar to like what a projection could be depending on the context. Like, I feel you, but I'm not necessarily in agreement with you because I don't resonate with it. So you have to be able to stand in like, okay, but this is mine and that's yours. So I see you.
Because you tell people, I understand and I see and I feel
little ways and in big ways. And people like being mindful of things that people say, especially with us in our culture, like we say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I don't agree with that. Don't say that shit to me. I know we say it, but I do not want to agree.
Never liked that
I don't
saying,
agree. I don't want to agree with you in this moment because I don't feel I'm not a victim to this moment, and I do not want to bring into my existence one situation after another.
Yeah, that's negativity. You
know?
So it's like we counting struggles. Yes. What are we doing?
You know,
because God even say that. God say, bro, long as you live, bro, you supposed to embrace hardship, bro. Like long as you live, like you feel, because that's what come with it. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's crazy.
I learned something so pivotal.
You'll shout your name of your podcast out because she's speaking them deals. So this like for real.
Y'all can find my podcast anywhere that podcasts are streamed. I love the Spotify experience, but I do get a lot of listenership on Apple Podcasts, and it is Raven Radio.
What you was gonna say before that?
Something that one little nugget that I can say continues to keep me close to God and like His promise is remembering that, like how you said, like the hardships are gonna come. Like, but I had a client of mine and she was like, Raven, don't forget, like, and she called them landmines. She said there's gonna be many landmines on this journey, and God never said that they wouldn't be family. God never said that they wouldn't be friends. Those are gonna be the very people that are going to, you feel what I'm saying, be right there in your path to expose expose you to different levels of
so when she
pain
said
and
that,
negativity.
not to cut you off, when she said that, how did you instantly accept that? Because that's hard to accept. You know what I mean? Like, did you instantly?
Exactly.
It was like,
bro, it's
Right.
like,
it was one of them like, it's
a
so
hard
right,
pill to
but it
swallow.
was a hard pill to swallow. And I was in therapy at the time, and I was venting to her about what I was healing at the time. And I'm so grateful that I stuck with therapy to get the tools that I needed, because I was just at a mental space where I couldn't process out everything that I had experienced, and I needed the proper tools to help me do so.
Yeah, tell me a bit about your story.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
therapy. Can you speak on that too? I was in therapy, but it got to I couldn't really trust the lady. So how do you?
So you was with a black lady or a white lady?
White lady.
All
man.
right, that's problem. And that's
right.
Wrong step.
Okay, so speak on like how did you find somebody to trust? You know what I mean? That's a big thing.
That
with
is a big
therapy.
thing.
You feel what I'm saying?
One of my clients. So I've been a lash artist. I've been doing lash extensions for 8 years now.
Wow. So she do lashes, man.
Yes,
Get it?
my lash career has been what has been really keeping me afloat as I transition with my business. You know, and all in yoga and all that. So shout out to my clients. I love y'all. I really do. I love y'all real bad.
Get them lashes.
For sure.
I was with a client, and she was in college at the time, and she was telling me that she had just came from therapy. And I was like, who is your therapist? Like, I literally had just probably had that moment of falling on my knees in my apartment, like, God, please help me.
Right.
Like, I had to get to a place of surrender to really call in the help that I know I needed. And so conversation happened 2 or 3 days later, and she told me that her therapist was actually a professor at Faulkner, and she was a black woman. She's actually a Nigerian black woman.
Okay.
And I just called her Dr. Yooo, I think. Honey, I don't even know if I even had to say her name. Like,
It's just a connection.
It was just a connection.
I just needed
she was a black woman
to help,
and that's all I needed. I needed a black woman. I did not want.
that
I
is-
was
that's
not
facts,
going
though.
for. I
That's
didn't want a
facts.
man, and I didn't want someone who just didn't relate to what it is to be black in America. It's some shit is just understood, ma'am. I'm not finna sit here and explain the black struggle
never
and
understand
then
it.
get you to get my. You feel what I'm saying? And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to be treated like you know,
Like a project. Right. Yeah, like that was my thing too.
Or just nitpicked, or never seen as the wholeness of a human.
Exactly.
Because I feel like no matter what, white people
sure.
gonna always view us as 3/5. They have a.
That's how it was with me, bro. I literally felt like that sitting on the couch. Like, bro, why I feel like I'm being studied on?
Exactly, like experimented. Experimented on.
It's like I should look at you. I should look at you.
Like
Just
an
give you.
investigation.
Right.
I should just be able to give you a certain look, and I just look at you like.
Right, we can't
and
talk
then
about
I
vibrations.
get you.
Like, talking vibes.
There you go. Exactly.
We're so sentient. Like we can have a whole conversation without saying a thing. Our body language, our eye contact.
Everything, eye contact. all
Look, we
that
got things like you good. You
Right.
good means a lot, because you
Right,
good can mean you
right.
good, and you good can mean
Facts,
you
though.
good.
You
You know
good.
what I'm saying? So stuff like that I
good,
did
yo?
not want to explain, needed it to be understood, so I could really feel safe. And so I went to her, and I kid y'all not, I have no problem with sharing her information. I don't know if she does virtual, but I think in this day and age, everybody had to learn to assist virtually when 2020 happened. So I wouldn't be surprised if she does. But I kid you not, $35 a session. She took cash out. An hour-long session. You feel me? So, and my therapy journey was by way of me getting out of a tumultuous relationship. I was experiencing, domestic abuse, mental, emotional abuse, whole nine, all the abuses, y'all. So, I got her information from my client, and I kid you not, I was going twice a week for like the first month. And I wasn't saying a word. I was just crying. I just sat on her couch and cried for an hour. I just needed a safe space to cry. And it was like
a safe space to cry.
Yeah.
Oh,
I kid you not. I was right there in month.
I pay you
month
twice
two.
here.
Yeah.
That's deep though.
Yeah, for
Wow,
real.
That's deep.
And my second month is when we started to talk. And again, through sometimes that one session, I would be crying so much that I could barely talk. So she was very patient with me, and she listened. And when I say gave me the tools, and it took about maybe 6 months before I was just scrolling on Instagram, and I actually got. Everything come on your Explore page. I actually got clear on the type of abuse I was experiencing, and it was narcissistic abuse, which is which is a totally different level of abuse.
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of manipulation, gaslighting. Like
one thing about it, I feel like manipulation is such a sick game.
It is.
It is crazy when you figure out the levels to this shit.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, y'all be playing in rodeo.
How did you figure out though? Like,
I kid you, I was scrolling and
it was just like a little. Though.
It took many lessons, didn't it?
It took many lessons, and it was unfortunate, but I kept saying, it was like my inner child was finally able to speak, and I remember my inner child was saying, like, he reminded me, like, he would say stuff that my mom would say. He remembered what my mom used to tell me this, or what, and it was like, it just kept going back to that. So I was healing from what he did, but it was much deeper from where it started. Right. And I was able to see how it's where it started and how it manifested into this relationship to get me to this moment. Like, oh, okay. So that post, it said a lot. It said keywords like, the manipulation or the certain things that they would say. And it was just one of those very informative posts on Instagram. And I was like, I have been experiencing narcissistic abuse, and a lot of us aren't aware that we had narcissistic parents. A lot of us in the Black community, it's unfortunate because of like the agenda against us actually getting to this place of wholeness and healness, because you exude a lot of power, and with this power and conviction, you are attractive to your peers, and they do want to start behaving in this way. Like it's addicting. Like they don't know what it is, but they know it's something, and it's really healing, and they know the power of us coming together can really flip this shit upside down. Exactly. So I will say that dealing with narcissistic parents is like a byproduct of the trauma, of the intergenerational trauma.
People be using that term loosely. So what does that does that mean? What narcissist? People be using like that.
It's very clickbaity now. But I can say someone that is a narcissist or has narcissistic traits, they are a person that is plagued with, to be honest, and I don't think my definition of it is going to be surface. Okay, if I say surface layer, you could just say someone that's very full of themselves. But if you go beyond that, it is really someone that is very full of fear, that has created a persona that now behaves in a way that does things to make you think that they are better than you and that you need them. But in all honesty, they need you and you are better than them. So it's a person with a very inflated ego, and they take things personally and get offended for the sake of manipulating you to be subservient to them.
Oh my God.
So they will manipulate you, they will gaslight you, they will never be wrong, you will never be right, it will always be your fault. You will always be apologizing to them. These are the people that
question yourself.
Will put you in a position to apologize to them after they've wronged you. Ooh. And it is and they've created this shell of a personality to protect them, because deep down inside, they're like a 2-year-old that has experienced extreme trauma, and now their ego and this person they've created is protecting someone that is deeply insecure, that is deeply that deeply rejects themselves, that does not know themselves, that does not love themselves. But they gonna look real good, and they gonna smell even better, and they gonna have great sex, and they're gonna be like all of you want them to be.
That's how you can tell.
They're gonna study you, but it's all for their gain of control over you, because your energy and attention towards them now validates them, because they can't validate themselves.
Damn, that's
but it
crazy.
Is and they say, oh, it can't be healed, and da-da-da-da. I feel narcissism can be healed, but it takes a very spiritual a spiritual path and an energy healing path. Like it's a combination. I feel like narcissism can be healed, but that's just my take. And it's clickbaity now, because healing is a thing now, and narcissistic abuse and the empath and all of that. If you dive into that rabbit hole, you will learn a lot about people, and there are a lot of people that are plagued with it. But most times, those people do not want to take a spiritual path. They kind of come off a little bit almost like atheists.
They operate
their
in
belief
pride.
System is more on themselves, not in a higher power, and whether they're conscious of it or not, they're just moving for self, because the self that really exists beyond all of this, all the drama and all the rah-rah is very small. Very small, very pain ridden, and very fearful. So it can go there.
You gotta understand. We talking,
and it's
like,
men and women, young and old. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So
if we talking about demons and devils, you got something on you. Like if you operating out
I might have been like that. Used to be.
Yeah,
like,
we all
in a way, not like all the way, but you know,
that's why some people have like traits, like
right.
Like, and I mean, and that's subjective and it's relative too. Like, come on now, they'll say someone that's confident in themselves. You get what if you're too confident, you're arrogant. If you, some people can only take so much.
And you got to think
and that's their thing. That's a projection.
If you're projecting out to somebody else, and that's something inside of you that you have to look into. If you think somebody being so arrogant because they are confident, you know.
I jumped on the platform. I always keep it P, capital P like fat form. I brought a couple people with me. We came to talk shit. Like niggas on the streams, we gon' make a lot of sense. We talk a lot of shit, but we make a lot of sense. We talk a lot of shit, but we make a lot of sense. We talk a lot of shit, but we make a lot of sense. We get opinions on the streams, gotta make a lot of sense. I'm in all black mode.